where am I in those three phases? How might somebody start to look into, questioning themselves and asking and discovering where they are on that path?
Yeah. So making it really personal, the first phase, the black phase of alchemy. In the book, I use the metaphor of climbing a peak, a mountain. And this is when you're lost in the forest, the dark forest. And this can be a dark night of the soul. So this could be a catalyst of something comes and happens in your life that sends you potentially into deep depression, or maybe you like lost a loved one, right? Or something happens basically that it's like the tower card in tarot that burns down what you think is true. So it's this process of the universe sends the fire, but it's not like fire that we typically think of. It's like divine fire here to burn away, you could say, illusion or just things that aren't true. And often when it comes to personal transformation, that's your belief systems. So this is where you're going through life and maybe you thought life was all about, I don't know, I guess the stereotypical, in the US, making money and having the best job and buying lots of cars, right? And then something happens. I could speak for myself when I lost my dad at the age of 11. Like, I realized that money was just this made up thing. And then I would give any amount of money just to hug my dad again. So like things like meals with loved ones is actually some of the greatest gold there is. So you have a moment like that that really shakes up things. And then this is when you start to get to know your own beliefs. You're like, oh, wow, I have limited beliefs. I've been showing up this way in life, just totally unconscious to why I've been doing that. So this is the real self-discovery process, right? You start to have some healing moment. Maybe you did a breathwork journey and had something come up and you're like, whoa, there's this whole other side of I experienced something and I don't understand. So you start jumping into these different things and learning about yourself and learning about your limited beliefs and how your mind operates and everything else. And then from there, you start to enter the white phase. And the white phase is like the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is when you're feeling lost for a while. You're starting to get to know your limited beliefs and why, like how you show up, the way that you show up, your behavior adaptations and everything else. And then the white phase is when you really start to have a moment. It's like climbing up the peak and getting above the tree line and like seeing life for what it is. And then as you keep climbing, eventually you'll get above the clouds. And that's when I use the metaphor of like the rays of the divine, like you'll feel that hit you. So this could be a moment of awakening. This could be a moment of awakening to the depths of who you truly are. Or maybe this is awakening to, if you're, you thought your life was about making lots of money and just having all the fancy cars. And then you realize, oh no, there's this other path that actually lights me up, my passion, like my purpose. And I could see that clearly now. And it's often, a glimpse, a nice taste. And that's when you're like, okay, I'm starting to feel settled. There's this new world I'm entering where I feel maybe, if I had an awakening moment, I feel connected to all things, or I can understand there's a higher power and I could surrender and relax a little bit more. It's not just all this ego and everything I see in the physical world. Like I could relax. There's a bigger power underneath. Or you have that passion or purpose and you're like, that's what I'm here to do. Like, okay, I know what I'm here to do. Beautiful. Well, then after that awakening moment, it's about coming down the mountain. And coming down the mountain is another way of saying integrating that into ordinary life. So then the red phase is the oscillation phase. This is where if you're in a big personal transformation, you're like, there's this new potential of this job I see myself doing and I'm here to do. And let's say you're changing careers. Well, the red phase is when you're walking between both worlds and you're integrating along the way, right? So this is where you have to, everybody knows if they started their own business, you got some years typically, unless you've had a lot of experience in the past that built up, right? So you got some years to put in and like learn the kinks and develop your skills and like till you fully become that glimpse that you saw. And the same for spiritual alchemy. The white phase is like when you really start to receive like spirit And then the red phase is the culmination, the fermentation, and like then purification through distillation, as you finally walk the path and then fully feel like you could be grounded in this world, but not necessarily be of this world.
Yeah. Beautifully